Father's Day is Sunday, and that means barbecues and family get-togethers. But for one man, fatherhood is a culmination of a lifelong journey to find a place to call home. While suffering years of mental and physical abuse from his foster family, he investigated a mysterious past to solve a complex puzzle. Who was he, and where did he come from? Steve Klakowitz lived a terrifying existence in the blue-collar seaside town of New Bedford, Massachusetts. Taken from his mother at age 3, he lived with a foster family that constantly abused him. Rule number 1, he couldn't tell anyone what was happening to him. This is the only childhood photo he has, but there is no shortage of dark memories.
I still remember. I also remember just being in fear every single day. You just don't know what's going to happen to you on a daily basis, and you also know that no one's coming. There's no one coming to save you.
His only hope was to do well in school. He would often sneak away to the cellar to read whatever book or magazine he could find. Then one day, a woman in the neighborhood, Claire Levin, gave him a box of books and helped open his eyes to a whole new world.
I poured myself into those books. They were my friends. And they were my play dates. They were all those things that most children get to do that I could not. And it gave me that vision of a life, of a family.
He particularly enjoyed the Hardy Boys books, perhaps because his own history was a mystery. While suffering the physical and mental abuse from his foster family, Steve Klakowitz struggled with questions about his real family.
I wondered where I'd come from. I'd been on the receiving end of so many questions. I'm African American, light complexion, blue eyes. At that time, I had a Polish last name. So every single day, somebody's asking you, well, who are you? What are you?
Steve did research on his own and discovered his father was African American and had been a boxer, Kenny Pemberton. His mother was Irish. She battled alcoholism and had 5 children, all with different fathers. Steve had always hoped they would come to save him. They never did. Both parents died when Steve was young, his father murdered. Steve eventually changed his name to Pemberton and tracked down his relatives on both sides.
I was expecting in all candor to find like the Brady Bunch or the Cosby Show or something like that, and it was so far from that. Both sides, both families were really trying to forget my parents because of the pain of their lives.
What Steve learned was that tragedy was his only inheritance. But like his father, Steve had a lot of fight in him to end the cycle of brokenness. He was accepted at Boston College. He has a wife and 3 children and is now a vice president at Walgreens headquarters in Deerfield.
Is there overlap between the two? I mean, did you really?
He wrote a book about his experience, A Chance in the World, an orphan boy, a mysterious past, and how he found a place called home. And that stranger, Claire Levin, who gave him that box of books more than 3 decades ago. He found her after all these years, still living in Boston.
When we read the book, both my husband and I, we couldn't put it down. And everybody says the same thing. It's a wonderful book to read. But we had a few tears in every page that we read, though, about all that was going on there.
You must be proud now.
We are, definitely.
A stranger's gift of reading gave him the vision of what could be. And now he has written a book, which he primarily intended to share with his own family.
But it wasn't as cathartic as writing a book about overcoming difficulty might be, becoming a husband and a father. That was really the healing element, where I could finally put in the past all those things that I had come from. They'll never know the life that I knew. And that's as it should be.
Steve Pemberton received a full scholarship to Boston College, and in addition to his work at Walgreens headquarters, he does public speaking events around the country. His website is chanceintheworld.com.
Time now for new. They happily married man, so it's working for him.
Some TV stations have their own promotions department that put together little promos for them. We kind of don't wait around for that. We kind of do our own, and so here's our new one. Take a look. Channel 7 caters its newscast to see